Changing a chart's orientation is not an intuitive kind of thing to do, but I always recommend it as a way to give you a different perspective on the data. Many times this alternative is revealing, and sometimes it's even better than the initial display. What are we talking about here? It's a capability that we see on the Design tab in the ribbon. Third button from the left, switch row column. This chart to the right of the data, a clustered column chart, is showing in clusters what's happened each month for the regions here. And not a bad chart at that. What happens when we switch row column? Watch the chart. Now, I wouldn't say this is better, you might though. What do we see now? Instead of the clusters being by month, now they're by region. A different way to see the data. You can easily switch back and forth. And sometimes you'll realize, hey, I'd like to see both charts. Well, create another one simply by copying this, change its orientation. And the chart below the data here. A stacked bar chart shows the data in a reasonable way. How might this look? And again, let's try and keep some of the data, and we'll zoom back a little bit here so we can see that chart along with the data above it. The chart below the data here. Let's change the orientation of this. Again, Design tab, switch row column. You see what's happening there. Here too, I think this is not nearly as good as the first. Trying to differentiate those colors there isn't so great. It does at least momentarily accentuate that the domestic region has the largest share of the sales. Of course, we can see that in the data as well. But switching back and forth, I recommend it. I think you'll see on line charts, there's nearly always a clear alternative. Most times, a line chart is about a changing set of data over a period of time, and that's one of its great strengths. If you change the orientation on this chart, switch row column, I think you see totally unacceptable there. And on pie charts, the alternative often is pretty hopeless. Switch row column here too. Now, something about the way this works in a different sense too. If I'm highlighting data here to put into a chart, suppose here I've got a situation I just want to show 3 months. I'm going to press Alt F1, quick way to create a chart, and it clusters the data by region. What if I included 4 months? Not nearly as commonly done. I'm going to press Alt F1. Now it clusters them by month. Depending upon the number of rows and number of columns that you're highlighting or selecting to go into a chart, many times the chart you're getting here is not quite the one you want, so just switch the orientation. If you really did want to see the 3 months of data here, but you want the clusters by months, then simply switch row column. So once again, as you're creating charts, I highly recommend use the switch row column option often. It just helps sometimes to view your data in a different way, and it's an easy switch. Think of it as a toggle back and forth.